सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are on the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So this last chapter, which is entitled Moksha Sannyas Yoga, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation, Krishna starts the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. Before that, Arjuna has asked a question in the beginning of this chapter. What is sannyasa and what is tyaga? So, and Krishna has described that tyag means giving up the results of all the actions, and sannyas means giving up the kamya karma. So that is the definition of sannyas and tyaga Krishna gives. And then Krishna describes that, there are some people who say yagya, dan, and tapa, these activities should be given up, and there are some people who say they should not be given up. And then Krishna gives his own opinion, and then he says that these activities of yagya, dan, and tapa should never be given up. So then, after describing all these things, Krishna goes into a description of 6 things: uh, karta, jnanam, geyam, and karta, karma. So, and 2 more things he discussed. So just a minute, I'll just go back. Before that, he described there are 5 factors for any action: adhishthanam tatha karta, karanam cha prathak vidam, vividha cha prathak cheshta, daivam chaivatra panchamam. And then he says that these 5 factors are involved in any action which is prescribed, done according to the scriptures or against the scriptures. They have these 5 principles which are involved. And then he describes the doership and non-doership mentality. Then after that, he describes jnanam, geyam, and parigyata. These are the motivators of action. And there are 3 constituents of action, that is karanam, karma, karta, and karanam. So after describing all these things, Krishna starts the description of knowledge in 3 modes, and then he describes about the action in 3 modes. And now from today we'll discuss the worker in the 3 modes: karta in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So there Krishna describes that the karta in the mode of goodness is that type of person who performs his duty without attachment to the results of the action. Mukta sango. Sangha means without association with the results of the matter and without association with the modes of material nature. He is not hankering for the results, and he is not attached to the modes of material nature. He is acting without false ego. And dhriti, utsaha, samanvitaha. So 2 more characteristics he has. He has great determination and he has great enthusiasm. So therefore, because he is not attached to the results and he is working with great enthusiasm and determination, and he is not acting in the influence of false ego, whether he gains success or a failure does not matter to him. He is equipoised. So that person is person in the mode of goodness. And then he describes the person in the mode of passion. He says this person, he is very much attached to the results of the work. Ragi karma phala prep. So rag means he is attached. Attached to what? Karma phala. He is attached to the fruits of his action, and he is lubdho and himsa, atmako, and shuchi. 3 more characteristics Krishna gives. Lubdho means he is desiring to enjoy the fruits. He is eager to enjoy the fruits. Himsa atmaka. Himsa atmaka means he is envious. So his atma is himsa. So at his core of the heart, he thinks of violence. So therefore, Prabhupada writes, such a person is envious of others and is prepared to do anything wrong for sense gratification. So therefore, when this envy is for some person, it becomes violence. And then ashuchi means he's always unclean. And then the results of this type of attitude is harsha shokan vitaha. Sometimes he is happy and sometimes he is morose. And he is very much disturbed by these two mentalities, happiness and distress. Harsha and shoka, these are the results of an action performed in this world. So the person who is in the mode of passion, he focuses on the result, not on the process. And that is a very, very deadly mentality. To do, whenever we are doing any action in this world, we should be attached to the, we should be focused on the process, not on the result. If we are too much obsessed about the result, then we'll not be able to focus on the process. For example, if somebody is giving class and throughout the class he's thinking, oh, will people like my class, will people appreciate me, and will people glorify me at the end of the class? So if he's throughout the class he's thinking like this, then he will not be able to give his full effort during the class. So therefore we have to learn to focus on the process and not on the results. But the problem is, in today's world, the results are glamorized so much that people, they don't see the hard work behind any action. You know, person who is a very, very successful businessman or a successful cricket player or actor or actress, we just see the result. But there is a lots of hard work which has gone behind, and because of that hard work, he has come to that standard. So therefore, in today's world, the focus is on the results. What this person is getting, what is the success, you know, what is the front picture. So many times the showroom is full, but the godown is empty. You know, they don't have anything substantial in their godown, in their character. What they focus is, they focus on the show business. What is the result? You know. Similarly, if a student, he wants to study and he's studying just for the results, he may he may pass the exam, but he'll not get the actual knowledge. He'll not be able to understand the subject matter properly. So therefore, if somebody is just studying for marks, that is the mode of passion. That is a worker in the mode of passion. So harsha shokan vitah karta rajasah parikirtitah. And then who is the karta in the mode of ignorance? Ayukta prakrita stabdha shatho naishkritiko alasaha. Ayukta. Ayukta means who is acting against the injunction of the scriptures. Prakrita. Prakrita means who is completely attached to the material things. Prakriti. From Prakriti, what comes? Prakrita. So he is totally materialistic. He acts against the injunction of the scriptures, and he is stabdha. Stabdha means he is obstinate. You know, so obstinate means if they decide to do something, then they won't give it up. So somebody may think, Arey, determination definition is also same. Obstinacy means, you know, if somebody has decided to do something, he'll not give it up. But determination also looks same. You know, dhriti also is same, but actually they are not. Determination is a positive describer. You know, he will continue to do a good thing even if he is not getting the result. And obstinacy means he's attached to doing a wrong thing and he will not give it up. So determination is a describer of a good activity. Obstinacy is a describer of a wrong activity. For example, Dhruv Maharaj, when he was going to forest, Narad Muni discouraged him. You're a small boy, what are you doing here? Go back. This is not the age for you to come and do tapasya. When you grow up, when you become an elderly person, young man, then you come. Narad Muni was not obstinate. He was very, very determined. And on the other hand, when Narad Muni, he goes to Duryodhan and he tells, look, you know, if you fight, then you will be destroyed. But Duryodhan didn't listen. Even Krishna comes himself, he did not listen. So therefore, if somebody is following the scriptures, that is determination, and he is pakka firm to practice. That is determination. But if it is a person is acting against the scriptures, that is called obstinacy. For example, Ravana. So many people came to him and told him, just give this Sita back to Ram. You know, Akampan came, then Maricha came, then Shurpanakha, Hanuman came, and then his own wife Mandodari. Everybody was telling, give Sita back or you will be destroyed. But Ravana was so obstinate, he did not listen to anyone. Therefore, he is stabdha. Then shatha means cheating. So cheating means he's and naishkritiko alasaha. He is expert in cheating and expert in insulting others. You know. So alasa means he is lazy. Naishkritika means expert in insulting others. Shatha means he is expert in cheating, and alasa means he is lazy. You know. And then Vishadhi Dirgha Sutricha, he is always morose. He always, he is always in the dreamland because he cannot come out of it. Because he cannot do anything substantial. Hare Krishna. So, can others, am I audible to others? Because there is some few people are not able to hear. Okay, great. There must be some problem from that side. Okay. Okay, so then karta tamasa uchyate. So the person who is vishadi, always morose and always procrastinating things, there are some people, you tell them to do something, हाँ करेंगे बाद में करेंगे, and they never do that work, always postponing things, बाद में कर लेंगे, mind will keep on telling them time है अभी, just like ordinary student, पढ़ाई करना है, ठीक है, एक दिन और मजा कर लेते हैं, आज थोड़ा क्रिकेट खेल लेते हैं, आईपीएल देख लेते हैं, एक नया मूवी निकल रहा है वो देख लेते हैं, नेक्स्ट कल से शुरू करें, कल से, so that kal never comes, so as there is a doha by Kabir, आज करे सो कल करे सो आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी बहुरी करेगा कब. So the Kabir is saying that if you want to do something tomorrow, do it today. And if you want to do something today, do it now, because you don't know if you will die next moment. But these people who are in the mode of ignorance, they think आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों, इतनी भी क्या जल्दी है जब जीना है बरसों, कर लेंगे, बहुत समय है अभी, so that is karta in the mode of ignorance. After describing the worker in the three modes, now Krishna analyzes two more things. He analyzes three more things: buddhi, dhriti, and sukha. So then why, after describing karma and karta in three modes, first he described knowledge, then karma, then karta. Now he is describing buddhi and dhriti and sukha. So why Krishna is, whatever Krishna says, there is a very refined, underlying thought process. First of all, if you want to do something, you have to develop a knowledge about that thing, knowledge about that activity. So that's why Krishna first described knowledge in three modes, gyan. This is how we perceive the world. Then after perceiving the world, then we decide how to act. Therefore, Krishna described action in three modes. You have to act in the mode of goodness. Get knowledge in the mode of goodness, then act in the mode of goodness. And then, as we decide to act, we become covered by different modes. Some people get covered in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So this is how jnana, karma, and karta. So after we decide to do something, then comes our intelligence, how to do that work. So first we develop the knowledge about, oh, I want to do this work. Then when we start working, we have to find out how this action has to be done. Then comes the picture of intelligence. Then comes intelligence in picture, So therefore, Krishna describes buddhi. So Gyan basically is more in terms of perception, that is theoretical knowledge. And buddhi is more in terms of action. So that's how Krishna is describing now buddhi. And then as we start working after knowing things, then our determination comes in picture. How determined we are to continue working. That will decide our success or failure. So therefore, Krishna will describe buddhi, dhriti, and sukha. Buddhir bhedam dhitaichaiva gunatastrividam shunu prochyamanam aseshena prathaktvena dhananjaya. So now here Krishna says, I'll describe buddhi and dhriti. And then after around 7 verses, in 18.36, Krishna describes about sukha. Because that is the experience we get while working. So after we start working with all determination, what will be the experience? And that experience is also in different modes. Now he starts the description of buddhi. So buddhi in the mode of goodness, that is the buddhi means the understanding by which one knows pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means what is to be done, and nivritti means what is not to be done. In 16th chapter also, Krishna has described about demoniac qualities. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasara. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasura na saucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. So the people having a demoniac tendency, they do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. So therefore, Krishna is saying people who have intelligence in the mode of goodness, they know what is to be done and what is not to be done. So pravritti and nivritti, this is more in terms of our inclination. Karya and akarya, based on our inclination, we perform some activities and we reject some activities. So therefore, the person in the mode of goodness, he knows what is pravritti and what is karya. What should be my inclination and what action should I do? That is the intelligence in the mode of goodness. And then bhaya abhaya. He knows what to fear and what not to fear. For example, a child, he is playing with fire because he does not understand that this is injurious for him. It may burn him. So the person in the mode of goodness, he understands what to be feared and what not to be feared. So as it is said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So therefore, people who don't have good sense and judgment, they have no hesitation in doing wrong things. And they will do those things which the wisest will avoid. So therefore, I have put a picture of this. This is a story where Ashwathama, he killed 5 sons of Draupadi. Then Arjuna, he took a vow, I'll bring the head of Ashwathama. So when he went and he arrested Ashwathama, he could not kill him because he thought, he's a Brahmana. I'll arrest him and I'll take him to Draupadi. So then as he took Ashwathama to Draupadi, she also became merciful. She said, oh, he's a son of a Brahmana, he's son of your guru, and I don't want his mother to suffer like I am suffering. Therefore, please leave him. Bhima says, nothing doing, you have to kill him. He's a killer of our children. He's a Brahma Bandhu. And then Nakula Sahadev took the side of Draupadi. Yudhishthira also took the side of Draupadi. And Krishna himself took side of Bhima. And then Krishna said, look, you have to satisfy Draupadi also. You have to satisfy Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhima, and me also. So then Arjuna used his intelligence. And why Arjuna could get that intelligence is described in Bhagavatam. Arjuna sahasa gyaya harer hardam athasina. He knew the heart of Krishna. And Prabhupada writes a brilliant purport. The more we practice bhakti with all our hearts, we will come to know what to do and when to do. When in difficult situations, which decisions to take, how to act. Krishna gives the intelligence. So that is the buddhi in the mode of goodness. Then buddhi in the mode of passion means Yaya dharmam adharmam cha, that understanding by which one cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion. So therefore, people cannot understand, is this a religious act or is this a irreligious act? For example, when Vibhishana, he left Ravana and he came to Lord Ram, many people, they, blame Vibhishan to be a traitor, but because they don't see the higher picture, there is a higher truth to it. Because Vibhishan, he wanted to serve Supreme Lord. He was not a traitor. He was serving Lord, which is a supreme dharma for everyone. Dharma sunashita pumsam vishwakasena kathasuya na utpadaye dayadiratim shrama eva hi kevalam. If our actions are not pleasing to Krishna, it is just a useless waste of labor. So that's how, and this Darwin also, he did not know what is right and what is wrong. When his son died at a young age, he could not understand why this happened to me. And then he understood, he thought maybe there is no God, and I'll prove to the whole world there is no God. So therefore, people in the mode of passion, in the having intelligence in the mode of passion, they do not know what is dharma and what is adharma. Then karya and akarya, they do not distinguish, they cannot distinguish between what is to be done and what is not to be done. And therefore, they are in the mode of passion. Then buddhi in the mode of ignorance, that buddhi thinks adharma to be dharma, irreligion to be religion, and religion to be irreligion. And the modern, terrorism, that is the form of jihad, is a famous graphic example of these things. Mannate tamasa avrita, they are covered by the spell of illusion. Sarvarthan viparitamscha, they always strive in a wrong direction. If he is told you have to do work in this way, they will say no, we'll work another way. So they consider God to be an ordinary person, and they consider ordinary person to be God. Prabhupada would tell, this is called double insanity. So therefore, this is buddhi in the mode of ignorance. Then after that, Krishna describes determination in three modes. Dhrityaya dharayate. So that determination which is unbreakable, you cannot break that determination. Mana pranendriya kriya, and that which helps to control the mind and senses. Yogena vyabhicharinya, that which is sustained by the steadfast practice of yoga. Dhriti sapartha sattviki, that determination is in the mode of goodness. So that is avyabhicharini determination, that determination which is unbreakable. And that determination comes by the process of pure devotional service. And that is actually, this determination is required to make our process of bhakti very, very steady. So therefore, Krishna says that is avyabhicharini bhakti we have to do. So therefore, to practice determination without deviation, we need to be in the mode of goodness. If you are in the mode of passion and ignorance, we will not be able to practice determination, devotional service steadily. So therefore, that is determination in the mode of goodness. Then determination in the mode of passion is that determination by which one is attached to dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. That determination is which is only focused to attain dharma, artha, and kama. That's all. And prasangena phala akankshi, because of the attachment to the results. I am doing something, I am determined to do something because I want results. Just like Dhruv Maharaj. He was very determined to please the Supreme Lord because he wanted a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. Padam Tribhun Krishtam Jigesho Sadhuvartamame. And it was by the mercy of Narad Muni, he dovetailed that determination of Dhruv Maharaj to bring him from mode of passion to transcendence at once. So that is the mercy of devotees. Prasangena phalakankshi, determination to get something in this world. And then what is determination in the mode of ignorance? That determination which cannot go beyond या तो धर्म कामार्थान धृत्या धार्यते. Sorry, there is some difference. Sorry, there is some different mistake in that. So that was yaya swapnam bhayam shokam vishadam madam cha na vimunchati durmeda dhriti sa parth tamasi. So that determination which leads to dreaming and swapnam bhayam, fearful, shoka, lamentation, all these things are the only thing which one can do in the mode of determination, in the mode of ignorance. You will just dream, हम करेंगे, डर लग रहा है करने में, I am fearful of doing these things, and I am feeling so sad, I am not able to do something, fearful of the results. I am so fearful of the result that I'll not work only. So vishadam madam evacha. So these people, they keep on lamenting. They are totally illusioned by the material nature, and therefore they cannot do anything in this world. All they waste is their internal mental energy. That's all. They just keep on thinking about things. They cannot do anything. For example, a person is a drunkard. His determination is so weak. He may decide from tomorrow I will not drink, but the determination does not last. There's one joke somebody sent. One time, one drunkard, out of frustration, he determined and he thought, from today I'll stop drinking. So whatever empty bottles he had, at his home, on empty liquor bottles, he started throwing one after another. There were so many bottles. Then as he was throwing, one bottle was full. It was not empty. So he said, अरे तू साइड हो जा पगली, तेरा तो कुछ कसूर ही नहीं है, बाकियों को फेंकते हैं बाहर. So that is the determination in the mode of ignorance. They cannot do anything like that. So therefore, we should understand, by the practice of devotional service, we can rise from wherever we are to the mode of goodness and to transcendence also. Because Krishna gives the intelligence. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Then after describing this, Krishna describes about happiness in three modes. And in this 36th verse, third and fourth lines, they describe the happiness in the mode of goodness. That happiness which comes by the practice, abhyasat ramati. People who are absorbed in practicing, and there is some type of happiness which they get in that practice. That is the happiness in the mode of goodness. And then he describes in more detail about this mode of goodness in 37th verse. Very, very important and very, very relevant verses for us to understand. Yattad agre visham iva. That happiness which may be poison in the beginning, but it is nectar in the end. Just like chanting. At present, chanting may be a most miserable activity for many of us. The morning when we get up, first thing that comes is my, "Arey baap re, 16 mala karna hai. Kab khatam hoga?" It is very, very distasteful, like poison. But the more we chant, the more we get purified. And after many years of practice of bhakti, that same chanting starts tasting sweet. And Prabhupada gives the example of the jaundiced person. He has, because this person has jaundice, whatever even if he tastes sugar cane juice, it will taste bitter. But the more he tastes that sugar cane juice, the more he will get recovered from that jaundice, and he'll start tasting that sugarcane juice as sweet. Nectar of Instruction also describes Syat Krishna Nama Charita Disitapya Vidya Pittopatapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kintva Daradanu Dinam Khalusheva Jushta Swadvi Kramad Bhavati Gadgadamula Hantri. So Krishna Nama Charita Adi, name, form and pastimes of the Lord they are distasteful to us at present. It is like pitta uptapta. It is like tongue which is covered with jaundice. But if we respectfully, adarad, anudinam, regularly, if we chant the names of the Lord, what will happen? Swadvi kramat bhavati. The taste will rise in the heart. That is the happiness in the mode of goodness. Pariname visham iva tat sukham satvikam proktam. And what is the result? Atma buddhi prasadajam. This happiness awakens one to self-realization. You know. So it may seem actually spiritual happiness is also like this. Process is painful, but the result is pleasurable. Is it that process is painful? Because we have heard Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadanam. Bhakti means it is always blissful. It is a complete nectar. Yes, that is the case, but this is referring to the later stages of our devotional service. After we get purified of our sinful actions, anarthas, kama, krodha, moha, then we will experience the happiness. And then Krishna describes happiness in the mode of passion. Vishayendriya sanyogad, that happiness which is derived from the contacts of the senses with their sense objects. Yattad agre amritopamam, it appears like nectar at first, and pariname visham iva, but it is poison in the end. Tat sukham rajasam smritam. And Krishna has described that is the nature of any happiness of this world. Yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. All the happiness of this world is pregnant with the misery. And primarily the mode of passion, the happiness in the mode of passion is seen in the romantic affairs of this world. At present, in the beginning, it looks so very attractive, a young boy and girl talking to each other, spending time with each other. It may look, wow, it is such a nectar. But he will never tell what all things he is going through. Pariname visham iva. It is very, very painful in the end. And even if these romantic love affairs does not end in pain, somebody may say, but I know cases where the end was also blissful. Okay, that may also be the case, but the problem is, the more we engage in sense gratification of this world, the more we develop association with the opposite gender, it increases our bodily conception of life. And because the bodily conception of life increases the existence in this material world, then punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shainam. Take birth, old age, disease, die, these things will go on. So therefore, that is the happiness in the mode of passion. And then what is happiness in the mode of ignorance? Yadagre chanubandhecha sukham mohanam atmanah. That happiness which is delusion from beginning to the end. And sukham mohanam, that happiness which is blind to atmanaha, that which is blind to self-realizations. So that happiness increases what? Nidra, alas and pramad. It increases, it arises from sleep, then alas, laziness, and pramad means illusion. So therefore, Krishna is saying, there are some people who just sleep for the sake of sleeping. They get some pleasure in sleeping. उनको सोने के लिए छोड़ दो. I asked one time in the college, कितना सोचता है? Somebody said, 12 घंटा सो सकता हूँ जी at a stretch. Somebody said 18 hours. One person said, I can sleep 24 hours at a stretch. That is a happiness which they are getting. Sleep. So that happiness which is arising in these activities, it takes one away from the process of self-realization. Pramad uttam means it brings madness. Just like drinking, it creates complete madness. And for that matter, watching television in today's age also creates madness. People become blind by so many desires. There is moh andh, there is dhan andh, and there is madandh, and there is kam andh. So people become blinded by lust and illusion, by seeing all obscene thing and by seeing all these advertisements. It increases lust, anger, and greed. The three gates to hell are triggered by television. You know, Kama, Krodha, Tatha, Lobha, Tasmad, Etat, Trayam, Tyajet. Therefore, Krishna says, there are three gates to hell. An intelligent person should give it up. So that is a happiness in the mode of ignorance. It increases illusion, madness, indolence. Then after describing this, he summarizes. Krishna is summarizing the influence of the modes. He says, "Oh Arjuna, in this world, there is nothing which is existing free from the modes. Everything is covered by the three modes." So then after describing this, after hearing this, Arjuna may think, बड़े इससे बाहर निकलने का कुछ तो रास्ता होगा या इतना आप बोल रहे हो सब everything is covered. No, is there some solution to this problem of the modes? Krishna says yes. So Arjuna says, is there some program you have made? कुछ program है कैसे बाहर निकलने का? Krishna says yes. That program is called Varnashram, and which he will describe in the next 5 verses. So now, Krishna in the first section of 18th chapter, he has described about Karma Yoga. Then he described about these three modes. Now Krishna is taking Arjuna from Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga by practice of Varnashram system. And then Krishna describes there are 4 social orders and describes their qualities, and then he describes the importance of sticking to one's own prescribed duties. So then in the 41st verse, Krishna says there are 4 varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. They are according to their actions. Karmani pravibhaktani swabhava prabhavair gunehi. These 4 varnas are based on their action, which is born of their nature. So everybody is acting in certain way according to the nature he has acquired. So therefore, people think this, this varna, all this system, this is all old, very backward type of system which the Vedic culture provides. It is not a modern and scientific, but actually, this varnashram is the most scientific thing which is given in the scriptures. Because one cannot live without acting in a particular way. Everybody in this world, they act in a particular way based on their nature. Some people will be brahmanas. Some people will be having inclination for knowledge. Just like there are so many thinkers, so many philosophers we have heard in the history and in the current times. They have liking for knowledge. Some people, they are good at management. They can manage nations. Some people are Vaishyas. They have liking for dealing with money. You cannot take that swabhav out of the person. It is not possible. So therefore, it is our innate swabhav which is helping us to do some activity. And Krishna is saying, these activities coming from swabhava prabhavair gunai. By acting in this way, oh Arjuna, one gets elevated. That is the way to get elevation. So now Krishna is slowly taking Arjuna from Karma Yoga, that is Sakam Karma Yoga, to Nishkam Karma Yoga. So that is a yoga ladder we have to understand. Because we'll see after this, Krishna will give a different process. Krishna will take Arjuna from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Jnana Marga. So therefore now Krishna describes the qualities of a Brahmanas. Brahmanas qualities is Brahmanical qualities: Shama, Dama, Tapa and Shaucha, and Shanti Arjava. Mind control, sense control, tapasya, cleanliness, then tolerance, and Arjava means modesty. Jnana, Vijnana, knowledge and wisdom. Astikyam, religiousness. So these are all qualities of a Brahmanas. Then qualities of a Kshatriya, they are described. Shauryam, Tejo, Dhriti, Daksham, Yuddhe, Chapya, Palayanam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in the battle. Dhanam, Ishvara, Bhavascha, and to give charity and controllership. These are the qualities of a Kshatriya. Then Vaishya and Shudras, their qualities are: Vaishyas, they deal with farming, cow protection and business, and Shudras, they are by nature happy working under someone, you know? Because in today's age, if you tell somebody you are a Shudra, he may be offended, but the problem is, that is the nature. Some people, they are happy just working under someone. They think they will say, मुझे सोचने को मत बोलो, मुझे क्या करना है वो बोलो, I will do that, and that is their nature. So in the Vedic time, Shudras were not seen as a low class people. Everybody was respected, therefore nobody revolted. But the problem started when the Brahminical class people, they started exploiting Shudras. So therefore, in short, it is said, Brahmanas, they deal with ideas. Kshatriyas, they deal with people. Vaishyas, they deal with animals. And Shudras, they deal with things. In the Vedic context, we have to modify it for the present terms. So therefore, Brahmanas are predominantly in the mode of goodness. Kshatriyas, they are a mix of goodness and passion, predominant passion and little goodness. Vaishyas are predominant passion and little ignorance. And Shudras, they are predominantly in the mode of ignorance with Rajogun as a secondary guna. So this is in short about the 4 varnas. Now, after describing this, now Krishna takes Arjuna from Nishkam Karma Yoga level, and he says, oh Arjuna, how this can be spiritualized. Then Krishna starts the process of, transition from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Jnana. And he says in the 46th verse, first of all, if in the 46th he says, Swe Swe Karmanya Bhiratah, by following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Nobody has to change his occupational duty to become perfect. Everybody can become perfect by acting at his level. Samsiddhim lavate naraha yatha swakarma nirata siddhim yatha vindati tashrino. Therefore, just hear from me how one can attain perfection by engaging in one's work. So how one can attain perfection? That Krishna describes in the 46th verse. Very, very important verse to understand. How Varnashram system becomes successful. Yata pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvam idam tatam swakarmana tam abhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Yata pravrittir bhutanam, we have to worship that Lord. Yena sarvam idam tatam. You have to worship swakarmana tam abhyarcha. Swakarmana, by your actions, tam abhyarcha. Tam means that person. Krishna is not still mentioning that person is me. Krishna is not still introduced the concept of bhakti yoga. He is saying by your work, worship that Lord who is the pravritti bhutana, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, sarvam idam tatam. So Supreme Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all pervading, you have to serve him by your actions, and then the result will be siddhim vindati manavaha, one will attain perfection. So the main point in this is swakarmana, by your action worship the Lord. So it is very important to understand at this point, this verse is not saying work is worship. Krishna is here saying here, by your work worship him. Work is not worship. Whatever you are doing, with that worship the Supreme Lord. So that is what Krishna is saying. And then after that, he describes more detail where, because Arjuna may think, but my activities are very difficult. So therefore, can I perform somebody else's activity? So Krishna, he addresses this issue of problematic prescribed duties. There are some duties who are problematic. For example, in the Vedic times, Brahmanas, sometimes they have to do some sacrifices, sacrifice of the cow, that is Gomedha Yagya, sacrifice of the horses, that is Ashwamedha Yagya, and it is not pleasing. but they have the knowledge and they have the power and purity to give new life to the animal which is getting sacrificed. So there is no loss for that animal. The old cow is chosen and the cow gets a new body, a horse gets a new body. So therefore Brahmanas could do that. Kshatriyas, they have to kill people. They may not like it. Just like Arjuna is not liking in the beginning of this Bhagavad Gita conversation. Vaishyas, they have to tell lies many times. If they don't lie, they will not be able to make money. If you go to a shop, then the shopkeeper will say, "अरे आपके लिए मैं अच्छा वाला निकालता हूँ, कल ही आया है, कल ही मेरे पास अच्छा वाला माल आया है, मैं आपके लिए अलग से निकालता हूँ, अभी तक किसी को दिखाया नहीं." So he may have told this statement for 10 people before us also. But if he does not say that, he will not be able to sell his items. So therefore, Arjuna is saying, my duty is very problematic. What if I do some other's actions, some other person's duty? Therefore, Krishna speaks a similar verse which he has spoken in the third chapter also, 3.35 or 36. He had said the same, exact same verse, only one line difference. Shreyan swadharmo viguna paradharma sunishchita swabhavaniyata karma kurvanna apnoti kilbisham. There he had said, Shreya swadharmo viguna paradharma sunishchita swadharme nidhanam shreya paradharmo bhayavaha. So it is better to perform one's own action, because to do some other's occupational duty is very fearful situation. Here Krishna is saying it is better, again saying the same thing, better to engage in one's own occupation even though it is performed imperfectly than to do some other's occupation perfectly, because in due course of time one will be forced to act in according to his own nature. And if somebody is performing actions according to his varna, then he will not be bound by sinful reaction. So basically Krishna is telling to Arjuna, now you may be thinking that I will give up fighting, I'll go to forest and I will live a life of a sannyasi. But in due course of time, what will happen? You will see somebody trying to manipulate or exploit innocent people, then your Kshatriya nature will come out. You will kill that person. Or somebody will come and he will criticize you, blame you, chastise you. And that is not a nature of a Kshatriya to hear all that. You will kill that person also. So the result will be you will become more sinful. So that's why Krishna is saying better to do one's own duties. And then Krishna gives an example that how even if there is some fault in the duty, it should not be given up. He says just like, fire is covered by smoke. Every action in this world is covered by some fault. You cannot take just fire and not take smoke. They are inseparable. Similarly, any action in this world has some faults. So you have to tolerate that and continue with your work. Then after describing this, that how karma takes one to bhakti, he had described, in 46th verse. In this, Swakarmana tam abhyarcha, that is devotional service, that is a way to perfection. Way to perfection is to serve the Lord. And then after this, Krishna will take Arjuna to a next level. He'll take Arjuna from a Nishkam Karma Yoga level to a Jnana Yoga level. So this section, Krishna is describing the confidential knowledge. That is the knowledge of Brahman feature. So in this section, Krishna will take Arjuna from Nishkam Karma to Jnana Yoga. Then from Jnana Yoga, at the level of Jnana Yoga, one has to practice renunciation. He has to give up all the action and then meditate, Ashtanga Yoga. He describes then the process of Ashtanga Yoga and meditate on the Paramatma who is there. And then after meditating on the Paramatma who is there on the heart, he gets the darshan and he wants to serve that Lord. That is a bhakti. So that is the flow of this section from 18.49 to 55 verses. So now, firstly, Krishna will describe, we have discussed in the 6th chapter about a neophyte Ashtanga Yogi and an established Ashtanga Yogi. So Krishna had told there that Arurukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karanam Uchyate Yoga Rudasya Tasyeva Kshamah Karanam Uchyate. There he had said, the Ashtanga Yogi who is a beginner, he should continue to perform action. After he becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of yoga, that is called Yoga Rudha, he can give up action, and that is called perfectional stage, Yoga Rudha. So now Krishna will describe about this Yoga Rudha platform, in further verses. So there now 49 verse, Krishna describes the perfect stage of sannyas. Asakta buddhi sarvatra. Asakta buddhi means unattached. Jitatma, self-controlled, vigata spriha, without any desire for enjoyment. Naishkarmya siddhim. Naishkarmya means he has given up the practice of work. He is not working, he is focused on renunciation. Sanyasena digachati. He attains the perfection, freedom from reaction. So then after describing this, we'll not spend so much of time here. Then 50th verse, Krishna describes what this Ashtanga Yogi at the Yoga Rudha platform he does. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tatha panoti nibodhame samasenaiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya para. So there Krishna is saying, "Oh Arjuna, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection of yoga can attain the stage of Brahman." So now we have discussed Krishna took Arjuna from Sakam, desiring the results. That is the Varnashram. Then Varnashram's purpose is fulfilled when one reaches the Nishkam Karma stage. And after that, he reaches the stage of Bhakti. Swakarmana Tamabhyarcha. Then, that was the transition from Sakam Karma Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. Now, in this section, Krishna is taking another step from Jnana Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. So, how a Jnani achieves perfection? Jnani, then Ashtanga Yogi, and then Bhakti Yogi. So, first of all, before that, a Jnani achieves the stage of Brahman. How does he achieves the stage of Brahman? By the process of all these various processes of Ashtanga Yoga, which we have discussed in the 6th chapter, also in the great detail. So that is what Krishna describes here. So buddhya vishuddhaya yukto, with being purified by his intelligence, dhrityatmanam, with all determination, following the niyamya, following the rules and regulations, giving up all attachment and aversions, and then vivikta sevi laghavashi. Vivikta sevi means he stays in a secluded place. That is all the Ashtanga Yoga process he describes till now. So important thing which we wanted to focus is dhrityatmanam niyamyacha. So this is very, very important for a Ashtanga Yogi, or for that matter Bhakti Yogi also. Dhrityatmana means with firm determination, controlling the mind with determination. Because determination is required for sense control. Because in our journey of Krishna consciousness, as I discussed earlier also, we pass through 4 stages. From the stage of helpless failure, struggle and failure, struggle and success, and effortless success. But problem is sometimes we are so much overcome by our conditionings. After getting defeated again and again, many of us may have experienced this. We may have been defeated again and again in our fight with sense objects, senses. Senses, they completely keep on dragging us. And it seems that 50% of our energy is going in fighting against senses. senses keep dragging us in different directions, and we think mere se nahi hoga yaar, I cannot do this, this is not for me. And then we give up fighting, we give up struggling, we stop even endeavoring, thinking that I will never be able to do it. Many of us have might have gone through this stage, a stage where after struggling with senses so much, every day is a struggle. Every day we think 16 माला करना है, कुछ टेस्ट नहीं है, घिस रहे हैं, खींच रहे हैं, खींच खींच के माला कर रहे हैं, no taste. And some sense object comes, we fall down, we fall prey to it, and then so much guilty conscious we think अब नहीं होगा मेरे से, I cannot do it. You know how a baby elephant, you must have seen that a huge elephant, he'll be tied by a small very thin chain to a very thin pillar, you know, and elephant does not move. And this thought does not, some people they think, अरे इतना बड़ा हाथी है, such a big elephant, if he just gives a little kick, little tug to that, you know, rope or chain, it will break, the tree and pillar will break. But you know why the elephant does not even dare to do that? Because there is a reason for it. You know, as the baby elephant, when the elephant is small baby, he's tied, the elephant is tied by chains and is tied to a very strong tree or a pillar. So baby elephant tries and tries and tries, and it is so very, many times it gets wounded, there is bleeding from his leg, so much pain. And with that pain, with that thoughts, that memories, the baby elephant grows, you know. And now after many years, he is now a grown-up elephant, but still the memories of that pain is so strong. Although he can uproot the trees, still he does not even try doing it, you know. So therefore this should not happen to us, because we have struggled so much with our senses, and we have been defeated many times by senses. We should not feel mere se nahi hoga, I will never be able to do it, you know. So therefore, you know, to avoid this unfortunate situation where we think mere se nahi hoga, we should know that if we continue practicing, Krishna's grace is there. We should always remember our good fortune, what all we have got, and what is backing us up, you know. Our whole Guru Parampara is there with us. Krishna is there with us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there with us. Prabhupada is there for us. So therefore, we should have faith and determination that even if I fall down, I won't give up, you know. So that is a process of bhakti we have to undergo. So then after describing 51st to 53rd verses, now after describing this, you know, Krishna describes now how one person who has attained this Brahman platform, he develops bhakti to the Lord. So therefore that is a perfectional stage of Jnana Yogi, to attain bhakti. So he describes in the next verse, in the 54th verse, very, very famous verse. And there Krishna says how after attaining Brahman platform, one attains bhakti, you know. So Brahman is so up, and even higher than that is bhakti. So Krishna is saying, who can perform bhakti? Those people who are on Brahman platform, they can perform bhakti. Brahma bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim lavate param. Brahma bhuta prasanna atma, the person who is transcendentally situated in the Brahman platform, he becomes always automatically joyful. Na shochati, this is na shochati, sochati nahi hai. It is not that wo sochta nahi hai. Shochati means he does not lament. Na kankshati, he does not desire to have anything. He has an equal vision towards everyone, and that person in that state, he can attain pure devotional service to me, Krishna is saying. Now Krishna is introducing himself. Mat bhakti. That person performs bhakti unto me. You know, this is a irrefutable attack against Mayavad. Mayavadis, they say Brahman is the highest, you know. Krishna is saying, "Arey nahi Baba, after attaining Brahman, then one can perform bhakti." So therefore, bhakti is the highest. So Krishna very clearly describes that Brahma Bhuta platform is the basic requirement to practice bhakti. You know? So then after this, Krishna describes what will happen after one attains bhakti. Bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only by bhakti one can know me. You know. So now Krishna has told Gyanis, they perform Ashtanga Yoga, then they reach Brahman platform, and from that Brahman platform they practice bhakti. By that bhakti one can know Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Very, very famous verse from Bhagavad Gita. Only devotee can know me as I am, tattvataha. You know, tattvataha word had come in the 4th chapter also. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha. So there Krishna had not described the process in detail. So Krishna had told there, whoever knows my birth and my activities, yad janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma. By giving up his body, he comes to me. How to realize Krishna's birth and activities, that Krishna describes now in this 55th verse of the 18th chapter, by the process of devotional service. And then what will happen? Tatomam tattvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. That person will enter into that kingdom of God, you know. So therefore Krishna has introduced that by reaching Brahman platform, one has to worship me, and by worshipping me, you will reach my abode. You know. So therefore, now somebody may say, but does it mean that to practice bhakti, we have to first practice ज्ञान? ये सब करना पड़ेगा क्या? ज्ञान और ये सब कितना तपस्या है, अष्टांग, ये सब करना पड़ेगा? Krishna had already told in the 18.56, wherever you are, you can practice bhakti. As you know, Chaitanya Charitamrita says a wonderful statement. He says, from your place, at your pace, join the race to reach Krishna. You know, a very wonderful definition of varnashram leading to bhakti. Varnashram means wherever you are, at your place. Either you are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmachari, Vanprastha, Grihastha, Sannyasi, whatever, wherever you are. At your pace, you know, at your speed. आपको 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड से भागना है या 20 किलोमीटर पर आवर, दैट्स अप टू यू, बट जॉइन द रेस, कम इन द रेस टू बी विथ कृष्णा. So therefore Krishna says anybody can perform bhakti. And now, having described this, first he describes that by giving up the results of work, he had described that first by giving nishkam karma yoga, and then by the process of jnana yoga, he can attain liberation. Now he will explain how by the process of bhakti yoga one can attain him. So in 56th verse, which is a very, very important verse to understand, and Chakravarti Thakur writes a very beautiful explanation in this verse. He says, सर्वकर्माण्यपि सदा कुर्वाणो मद्व्यपाश्रयः मत्प्रसादादवाप्नोति शाश्वतं पदमव्ययम्. Sarvakarmani api sada, engaged in all kinds of activities, my devotee is under my protection, mad vyapashtrayaha, and mad prasadad avapnoti. By my grace, he will attain. What he will attain? Sashwatam padam. He will attain the eternal and imperishable abode of mine. So Chakravarti Pad writes a very beautiful purport to this verse. He says, you know, Arjuna is thinking, you have just described, you know, the jnani to attain bhakti is such a difficult process. From nishkam, then jnana, then go to the forest, give up all mundane attachments, and develop this do this practice of yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, samadhi, and then he attains you. And here you are saying, just by taking shelter of you, a devotee will attain you. How is this possible? Krishna says yes. Even if the devotee has material desires, evident material desires, it is not that material desires are somewhere in the background. The devotee, he's not pure devotee. He is like a sadhaka bhakta. Still, after this life, he will surely come to me. So Arjuna may think, how is this possible? Are Jnani has to do so much of tapasya to attain you, and you are saying your devotee just by taking shelter of you will attain you. How is this possible? Krishna says, yes, this is possible because mat prasadat. He attains my abode by my mercy, and my mercy is most inconceivable and most powerful. So that shows the loving nature of Krishna, that he is most merciful and most inconceivable. And he is most powerful, he can do anything. So therefore in 57th verse, Krishna says, therefore work for me. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparah buddhiyogam upashritya machittah satatam bhava. Therefore in all activities just depend on me and work under my protection. Then after describing this, Krishna describes the result of working in such consciousness. He says, oh Arjuna, there are two paths. सुनोगे तो अच्छा है, नहीं सुनोगे तो बहुत मार पड़ेगी. In the straight language, Krishna is saying, Macchitta sarva durgani mat prasadat tarishyasi. If you hear whatever I am saying and if you follow, you will cross over all the obstacles by my grace. But if you don't follow whatever I am saying, athachetam ahankaran, out of your ego, na shroshyasi vinangshasi, if you will not hear, you will be lost. So therefore this is very clear cut definition that no two paths lead to same goal. People think kuch bhi karo chalega yaar, whatever you do you'll go to the same destination. No, Krishna is saying clearly, if you follow me you will become successful, if you don't follow me you will be perished, you will be destroyed. And Krishna had told this many times in Bhagavad Gita. In the 3rd chapter also he had said this, 3.31 and 32. Whoever follows my path, they become glorious and liberated. Whoever does not follow, they are lost. In 4th chapter again, 39th and 40th verses, Krishna says, Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. And then he says, Agyascha ashraddhadanascha samshayatma vinashyati. So therefore, Krishna is very clearly saying, if you don't follow whatever I am saying, you will be lost. But Krishna is not, forcing this. That is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. That is the beauty of Krishna. Krishna never forces anyone. Krishna always gives the choices. See, this menu card is in front of you. So Bhagavad Gita is not a book of commandments. It is a book of choices and consequences. Krishna is giving throughout Bhagavad Gita. If you do this, you will get this. If you do this, you will get this. If you hear whatever I am saying and follow, you will attain success. If you will not listen, you will be destroyed. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is very clearly telling that, if you follow my path, choice is yours. I am not forcing anyone, choice is yours. So therefore, a devotee, he has faith in the words of Krishna and he understands that problems will come in my life. For a non-devotee, suffering leads to frustration. When a problem comes in the life of a non-devotee, he becomes frustrated. For a devotee, suffering leads to, realization. He realizes the futility of this material world. Suffering leads to renunciation. He becomes detached from the material nature. Suffering leads to devotion. It makes the devotion more strong unto Krishna. Tatte anukampa sushamikshmano. Oh my Lord, this is your ultimate mercy. I deserved much more, but out of your mercy, you are giving me so less. So that is how a devotee is never discouraged. He may get perplexed for some time. He may get confused for some time, but he is never discouraged. So therefore, Krishna is saying, if you follow me, you will be glorious. And then Krishna describes in the 59th verse and 60th verses, he says, please act according to your nature, because a person works according to his nature anyways. So therefore, whatever I am saying, please listen, follow your swabhav. Your swabhav is to fight. Don't imitate the swabhav of Brahmana. Then after describing this, someone may say that if everyone acts according to his nature, then is nature supreme? Krishna is telling again and again, act according to your swabhav. Swabhava jena kaunteya. Everybody is acting according to his swabhav. So I think swabhav is supreme. Krishna says, no, swabhav is not supreme. The super soul who is there in everyone's heart is the supreme. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hridadeshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani maya. So there Krishna says, now he is taking Arjuna to next level, from confidential knowledge of Brahman, he is taking Arjuna to more confidential knowledge of super soul. So there he is saying, that super soul is residing in everyone's heart, and he is directing the wanderings of the living entities. So therefore Krishna is saying super soul is the supreme. Sabha is not supreme because super soul directs. And then he says, because Lord sanctions the desires of every living entity and provides the facilities to fulfill those desires, therefore please take shelter of that supreme Lord who is there in the heart. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarvabhavena bharata mat prasadadava param shantim shashvatam sthanam prapsyasi shashvatam. So therefore Krishna said, Swabhav is everybody is acting according to his nature. But who is controller of the nature? Super soul. Therefore, surrender to that super soul. Sometimes somebody asked me, just see. That means super soul, we have to surrender to super soul, not to Krishna. Krishna is not the supreme. That is taking things out of the context, So just 60 take note of the 67th verse, 62nd verse. Tam eva sharanam gaccha. Krishna is saying take shelter of the super soul. And if you take shelter of the super soul, then you will attain shanti also, and you will attain the highest abode also. These are the two requirements which Arjuna had. He wanted peace of mind and he wanted highest destination. Arjuna was thinking, if I fight, I will not be peaceful. Krishna is saying, but if you surrender to super soul, you will be peaceful. And if you surrender to super soul, you will attain highest position also. Now, after describing everything, Krishna is such a detached personality. He says, I have told you everything, O Arjuna. Now you do as you wish. Iti te jnanam akhyātam guhyād guhyataram maya vimrishyaitat aseshena yathechasi tatha kuru. So here Krishna says, oh Arjuna, I have told you guhyad and guhyataram. I have given you more confidential knowledge than what I have already described. Now, please think, contemplate, and you do whatever you want. One person came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, Swamiji, I have read whole Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada said, oh, which is your favorite verse? So he said, 18th chapter, Yathechasi tatha kuru. Aapki jo ichha hai, aap kariye. So that is what people think. Don't push me to do things. Krishna is such a wonderful God. ज़्यादा कुछ pressure नहीं डालते हैं. जो करना है आपको करो. So therefore, when Krishna told this to Arjuna, Arjuna went into a contemplation. He started thinking deeply on whatever he has heard till now. And he started thinking in a very, very contemplative mood. Seeing Arjuna, his dear friend and servant, in this mood, Krishna became merciful to him. And, his heart melted literally. So he said, oh dear friend, Arjuna, don't worry. ज़्यादा tension मतलब मैं बताता हूँ क्या करना है. I will tell you the essence of all the scriptures in the next few verses. Don't worry. So he has described out confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge. And then Krishna had told him, okay, you think about it and you do whatever you want. And Arjuna starts thinking, क्या करना है, क्या करना है? Krishna becomes merciful, अरे बेचारा बहुत सोच रहा है. Krishna said, don't worry, I'll tell you. You don't have to think. He says, सर्वगुह्यतमं भूय शृणु मे परमं वचः इष्टोऽसि मे दृढम् इति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम्. Now Krishna is giving the most confidential knowledge, sarvaguhyatamam. So now in 63rd verse Krishna said guhyatar, guhya and guhyatar. So these words are important to be understood. Guhya gyan means knowledge of Brahman. Guhyatar gyan means knowledge of Paramatma. Now in 64th verse, Krishna is saying, now I'll be giving you again. Why again? Because Krishna has given this Guhyatamam Gyan many times in the previous chapters also. 9th chapter, 1st verse. Iti te jnanam akyatam guhyat guhyataram maya. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyam suyave. Idam tu te guhyatamam. I will tell you guhyatamam gyan. In 15th chapter here said, Iti guhyatamam shastram idamuktam mayanagha. So this guhyatamam gyan is already given by Krishna to Arjuna in many places in Bhagavad Gita. So therefore he says, bhuya. Bhuya means again I'll give you this message. So there are two superlatives used in this. Guhyatamam and paramam vachaha. So guhyatamam gyan and paramam vachaha. That shows how much this knowledge is important. He has described Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita also, which is the Guhyatamam Gyan. Therefore, Krishna says, I am telling you this knowledge, O Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. So now, after hearing this, Krishna now repeats the same message which he has given earlier also in the 9th chapter to stress, that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, that is the Guhyatamam Gyan. And what is that? मनमना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी माम नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि सत्यम ते प्रतिजानी प्रियोसि मे. मनमना भव, concentrate your mind on Krishna. Madbhav madbhakto, become my devotee. Madhyaji, worship me. Mam namaskuru, offer obeisance unto me. In this way you will come to me without fail. And here, Krishna uses a wonderful word, pratijani. Pratijani word has come earlier also. Anybody remembers where? It has come in the 9th chapter, 31st verse. Kaunteya pratijanihi. So there Krishna has told Arjuna, oh Arjuna, you declare boldly. Now Krishna is himself declaring this supreme knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. What is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? Which Krishna is declaring himself. That is to become my devotee, becoming devoted to Krishna. So that is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. After hearing this, Arjuna is still thinking about other dharmic activities. What to do about other dharmic activities which I know, what is to be done about them, So then Krishna says, don't worry. You don't have to bother about all these other type of dharma. And then he says the famous verse, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. So now, sarva dharman parityaja. So give up all varieties of religion. Now somebody may question that if Krishna comes to establish religion, then why is he saying to give up all religion? So Krishna is saying, give up all types of religion apart from the dharma of surrendering unto him. Because surrendering to Krishna is the highest religion for a living entity. Jivera Swarupa Hoye Krishnera Nityadas. And therefore Krishna says, Ma mekam sharanam braja. Take shelter of me exclusively. And somebody may say, but if I take shelter of you and act according to your words, and if you tell me to kill my parents, kill my relatives, my grandfathers, my teachers, it may become sinful activity, no? I'll become implicated. And who will take care of those sins? Krishna says, don't worry, I will take care of those sins. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I will free you from all types of sinful activities. Just listen to whatever I am saying. That is the highest dharma. There is a dharma. There is a the adharma means irreligious action. There is aparadharma. Aparadharma means the dharma of this world, taking care of the family, children. And there is parodharmo. Parodharmo means service of Supreme Lord. So Krishna is saying, service to me is the highest type of religion. Therefore, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. I'll free you from all sinful reactions. Just surrender to me. And the purport, Prabhupada writes the process of surrender, which Sanatana Goswami has described in his Hari Bhakti Vilas. And he has described 6 limbs of surrender: anukulasya sankalpa, pratikulasya varjanam, rakshishyati iti vishwaso, gopatritve varnam tatha atmanikshepa karpanye shadvidha sharanagati. So therefore, Krishna is telling Arjuna, please surrender to me. Now, after describing whole Bhagavad Gita, from 67th verse onwards, Krishna describes the Falashruti. He says, first of all, he says, these teachings of Bhagavad Gita should not be given to those people who are not austere, not devotees, and those who are not interested in hearing. Somebody may say, a whole world comes in this category. Nobody is austere, nobody is a devotee, and nobody is interested in hearing. So why Krishna is telling this? Basically, Krishna is telling not to discuss the deeper aspects of Gita when you are telling this knowledge to the common people. Just tell them some basic things. And somebody may say, why Krishna is behaving like this? It is like a person who has a wealth and he thinks sabko nahi dena hai. But why Krishna has told that Krishna has already said he is a father and mother. Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata. Father does not keep secrets from children, but actually father does. Father does not reveal his treasury to the small children, because the small children, they do not know how to use that treasury. Billionaires, they will not make their children in charge of their whole property. It will come to them after some time, because the children, they don't know how to use the money. Similarly, Krishna is telling to Arjuna, please don't tell this knowledge to those people who have less intelligence, who are not my devotees, because they won't understand, and they may offend this knowledge. By offending this knowledge, they will go down even more deeper. So therefore, Krishna, by his actions, he has always told, his words, he has always told that he takes care of everyone. He likes to bring everyone close to him. So Krishna is not that type of person who says, no, isko do or isko mat do. He wants everybody to come to him. But he knows when to give the message and whom to give the message, So therefore, basically, Krishna wants every one of us to grow. When we grow in our consciousness, then for sure we'll understand the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita properly. So therefore, the purpose behind this verse is not to hide, but to make us grow, so that we can understand this knowledge. So now, after describing this, Krishna describes the benefit of teaching Bhagavad Gita. He says, oh Arjuna, whoever tells this knowledge to others, this is about the preachers of Krishna consciousness. Whoever teaches this message to others, pure devotional service is guaranteed for him. At the end, he will come to me without fail. And then in the 69th verse, he very, very emphatically says, preacher of Krishna consciousness is very dear to me. Priyakrittamaha. So therefore, preaching is not an activity which we do after we become a pure devotee. Preaching is a part of our sadhana. Everybody should preach. One should not hesitate in preaching. People think I am not qualified. I don't know how to preach. Maybe not in this lifetime. Next lifetime I'll think about it. I am just happy in hearing. No, we have to start preaching from wherever we are, because if you want to serve and please the Lord, we have to preach. Preaching pleases Krishna. And then Krishna says, but there are some people who will not do preaching. He goes a step down. He says, at least if you are not preaching, study Bhagavad Gita. And then he describes the benefits of studying Bhagavad Gita. He says, Adhyeshyate chaya imam, whoever studies this conversation of ours, Jnana yagyena tenaham ishtaha. He worships me by his intelligence. So studying Bhagavad Gita is also worship, just like deity worship. This is also worship. And then he says, if you cannot study, पढ़ भी नहीं सकते. Prachar is the highest. Preaching. If you cannot preach, at least study. If you cannot study, at least hear. Then he says, what is the result of hearing? Shrunyadapi yonarha sopi muktaha. He will also get liberated from this clutches of sinful reactions. He will also attain the, he will not attain the highest destination. Krishna is saying they will attain Shubhan Lokan. If they are just hearing, not having much faith, they will get elevated. They may get to the higher planetary systems like Dhruva Loka, Prapnuyat Punya Karmanam, where the pious people dwell. Because one should not feel, अरे भगवद गीता सुनेंगे तो यहाँ पे स्वर्ग जाएंगे क्या और heavenly planets जाएंगे क्या? Krishna is saying, if somebody is not having sufficient understanding of Bhagavad Gita, even if that person is hearing Bhagavad Gita with faith, at least he will get elevated from a very low level of understanding to some higher destination. So therefore, by all these means, Krishna is so very eager to deliver the souls. And then, after this, Krishna asks Arjuna, Suna na barabar se? He says, Kachideta shrutam partha tvayaikangrena chetasa kaschidajnana sammoha pranashtaste dhananjaya. O Arjuna, have you heard with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance and illusion dispelled? So when Krishna is speaking this, he is having in his mind, नहीं सुना है तो पूरा भगवद गीता दोबारा सुनाने के लिए रेडी हूं मैं. So therefore Arjuna says, no, I understood everything. Nashto moho smritir labdva tvat prasadan me achyuta stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. All my illusion is dispelled. All my ignorance is gone. By your mercy, Achyuta. Now, last line is very, very important. Bhagavad Gita is not just informational scripture, it is a transformational scripture. After hearing and reading Bhagavad Gita, we should be ready to do whatever Krishna is telling us. We should be ready to do whatever devotees are telling us. Karishye vachanam tava. So therefore, assimilation and application. When we do these two things, then we get transformation. By assimilation of knowledge and application of knowledge, we get transformation. And then after this, Sanjay gives his realizations. He says, I have heard this supreme conversation. It is very exciting. I am completely thrilled. My hairs are standing on end. I have heard this message by the mercy of Vyasadeva, because Vyasadeva gave the benediction by which he could see in his heart all the conversation. And then he remembered the Vishwarupa which Krishna showed to Arjuna. Sanjay also saw. And then he says, oh Dhritarashtra, as I remember that form and as I remember this conversation, I go into ecstasy. My hairs are standing on end. Rishyamicham hum. And then the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay gives the final opinion. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdaraha Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhute Dhruvanriti Matirmama. Wherever there is a Yogeshwara, the supreme lord of all mystics, Krishna, wherever there is the bowman, supreme great archer Arjuna, there will be four things. Shri, Vijaya, Dhruva, and Niti. Opulence, victory, determination, and morality. That is my opinion. So in the first chapter, 46th verse, Sanjay had said, एवं उक्त्वार्जुन संख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृज्य शशरं चापं शोक संविघ्नमानसः. Sanjay had told Dhritarashtra, "Oh Dhritarashtra, Arjuna gave up his Gandhiva. Visrijya, gave up." Now Sanjay is telling to Dhritarashtra, Dhanur Partho Dhanur Dharaha. Now Arjuna has again lifted bow. Therefore, the victory is on the side of Pandavas. So the Dhritarashtra had asked the question, who will win? In last verse of Bhagavad Gita, Sanjay is making a prophecy that surely Pandavas will win. And with this, we end this Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for being with us for so many days, giving us chance to serve all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. If anybody has any questions, they can put on the chat. Even after uh, even after knowing all the knowledge, why conditioned soul commit mistakes repeatedly? That we'll discuss in our Nectar of Devotion. In short, I'll tell, because uh, living entities, they are fallible. They keep forgetting how they suffered, and their intelligence is third class and fourth class. So therefore, the steady intelligence, to process misery also requires intelligence. People may suffer, but they don't know why they are suffering. Just like a drunkard may suffer after every pack of liquor, vomiting, headache, but the conditioning is so strong he forgets that. So therefore he commits the mistake again and again. So that is a question which Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukdev Goswami. Why do people commit same mistakes again and again? They do some mistakes, they repent for that, again they do the same mistake. Is there some way out for this? Shukdev Goswami says, yes, the way out is process of bhakti. Only process of devotional service can destroy all the ignorance. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayana agham dhunvanti kartsnena niharam iva bhaskara. Just like when there is a fog, we cannot see anything. And when the sun rises, all fog is completely dissipated. Similarly, when devotional service rises in the heart, one becomes free from all the conditionings, one's sinful activities, sinful proclivities, sinful tendencies, all the sinful reactions which is about to come, all get destroyed. It's like that. Is there any relation between Srimad Bhagavad Gita and other religions? Yes. Bhagavad Prabhupada writes in the very first purport of Bhagavad Gita, first 1.1, Krishna Prabhupada writes that in this Bhagavad Gita you will find what is there in other religions, and you will find so many things which are not there anywhere in the world. It's like that. So it is like pocket dictionary, Oxford dictionary, and encyclopedia. Encyclopedia has everything. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita has same concepts which are described in other religions, but they are explained in a much greater extent, much deeper details. So that is what is described here. How to control ourselves in getting involved into arguments on social media about temples are closed and God has turned his face in current crisis. Yeah, so that's why when we read Bhagavad Gita philosophy, we understand that why people are suffering in this world. We should be very, very clear about that. God is not a person who likes to put living entities into trouble, because there can be nobody who is more merciful than Krishna. If somebody tells something to us, we will become so angry. If somebody criticizes us, we'll not even like to talk to him. What to speak of if somebody comes to kill us? Krishna gave the position of mother to Putana. Putana came to kill Krishna. So who can be more merciful than Krishna? So why will God put people into such difficult situations? Whenever wrong things happen in the world, we should know, the more people go away from the instructions of God, the more they create severe karmic reactions. They go against the scriptural rules and regulations, and they have to suffer. Just like if somebody is not following the rules of the state, they will have to suffer the reaction. Similar case happens with the nature's law also. So therefore, we have to understand, when people are suffering in this world, God is not the person God is not a sadist who enjoys seeing others suffering. He is the most sensitive, most gentle person who has a heart of millions of mothers. Suniti is telling to Dhruv Maharaj, Tameva Vatsa Shraya Bhritya Vatsalam Mumokshibhi Mrigya Padabja Paddatim Ananya Bhave Nij Dharma Bhavite Mana Avasthapya Bhajasva Purusham. So Suniti is telling Dhruva, oh Dhruva, please take shelter of Supreme Lord, because Supreme Lord has the heart of millions of mothers. So we should be very, very clear about, when problems are coming in the life of people, Krishna is not putting those troubles. They themselves are responsible for the miseries and the pain they are going through. In fact, Krishna is giving the intelligence so that they can come out of these miseries by sending people, by sending books, by sending saintly association, by coming himself many times. So that's how, when we have to, many times, when this social media thing gets too much, we can just shut down the social media, focus on positives. We had, I was in one of the WhatsApp group, and in that, after this coronavirus started, only messages which were coming were about coronavirus. And it became too much for me, so I just gave up that group. I left that group. So when things are becoming too much, we cannot handle the negativity which is there in the social media. Just stay away from that social media. First of all, we should know why we are doing what we are doing, and we should know philosophically who is God, what is the process to know God, and Bhagavad Gita, as I discussed earlier also, Bhagavad Gita is talking about the words of God. Bhagavatam talks about the activities of God. Chaitanya Charitamrita talks about the mentality of God. So if you want to know about mentality of God, what does God think, then we will have to understand Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So therefore, we have to be away from this social media as much as possible. Just take the whatever is minimum required things from the social media. Even if you don't log into your Google account, you will know all the information which is available in the outside world, because people will come and they will tell you. So therefore, better to focus on the scriptures, sadhana, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, first swasthya, your health, that's the foremost. Then sadhana, chanting. Then swadhyay, study of scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Seva, serving devotees, serving the Lord. And sadachar, how to deal with devotees and how to deal with people. These things are required for a devotee to progress, like that. Please show the slide of 19th chapter. तो है ही नहीं यार भगवद गीता में. Okay, 18.75 to 77 हो गया. Okay, so 18.75, Sanjay is telling that I heard all this message of Bhagavad Gita by mercy of Krishna, Vyasadeva. because Vyasadeva gave the benediction to Sanjay that you will be able to see entire war of Kurukshetra. And then, he said, just when I recall this conversation, I become so much thrilled. It gives me so much pleasure. Adbhutam Rom Harshanam. And, he says, when I remember that form, what is that form? That Virat Rupa. Rupam Atyadbhutam. That was Ati Adbhut Rupa. When I remember that form, I go into ecstasy. When did Varnashram system become corrupted? That is the oppression of Shudra. Yeah, it started with the beginning of Kali Yuga, with the fall down of the Brahmanas. The famous story of Bhagavatam when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed by the son of Shamik Rishi. And Brahmanas, it started becoming corrupted with the downfall of a Brahmana community. When the head gets, systems, the system does not work properly, then nothing works properly. Body may be fit, but if the software is not working properly, you cannot function. Hardware may be all right. So that is what happened. Brahmanas, they started behaving in a wrong way. They started exploiting Shudras. So then that was the beginning of whole downfall of this Varnashram. Okay, thank you very much for everyone being with us. In today's one also Chatur Varna applicable, as we have involved. See, again I'll explain that this Varnas, they are based on our Swabhav. Everybody has a particular Swabhav. And I had explained yesterday also, I think, many times it is not possible to act according to our Swabhav. So we have to do the needful. A person who is a teacher, if he is put in the role of a manager, he'll not be able to function properly. If he can give up that and go to his natural inclination of teaching, it will be best. If he cannot do that, then better do the needful. As Prabhupada would say many times, do the needful. That's all. That's how we have to understand this world. That's how we have to make the best use of bad bargain. That's all. It is difficult to stay away from television news completely due to prior conditioning and can't force. Yeah, that's there. I'm not telling you to give up, but as less as possible. And we don't have to change. We don't have to think to change the whole family and relatives. Start with ourselves. See less. If you are spending 10 hours on television or 5 hours on internet, just reduce. 5 hours, 4 ghanta, then 3, slowly it will come down. How does Sthita Pragya remain suppressing his senses? So Sthita Pragya, because he is fixed in higher realizations, param drishtva nivartate, because he has a higher taste. Therefore, this lower tastes does not matter. If somebody is, if you are given rasgulla every day, why will you look towards sukha chapati and sukdi? If you are getting sweet rice every day from temple, and if somebody says chalna thoda bahar jaake thoda kuch kha ke aate hain, अरे sweet rice I am getting, why I look at that thing which is available on the roadside? Because we have a higher taste. So our senses naturally get this away from the sense objects. That is the only way to become Sthita Pragya. Develop taste in hearing and chanting. That's all. Some people study Bhagavad Gita interpretations by other authors. How much benefit they will get? See, that's why Prabhupada, when he was asked in the America for the first time, Swamiji, which book of which Bhagavad Gita you recommend? So Prabhupada said, I could not recommend even a single one, because almost all of them had given their mental speculations. So therefore, if we are reading something which is not in line with parampara, it may be contaminated with Mayavad philosophy, or mental speculation. It will not give any spiritual benefit. It may give some material benefit, but it will not give any spiritual benefit if it is not coming in authorized bona fide parampara. So therefore, this parampara system is very, very important to be understood. And if we are not reading any scripture in parampara, it will not help. So therefore, it is said that we should not even hear any other speaker. In the Astha channel and Sanskar channel and so many of the devotional channels, so many people, they are speaking same Bhagavad, same Bhagavad Gita, same Ramayana, but still our scriptures, they are very, very strong against all these things. Scriptures say, Avaishnava mukhodgirnam putam hari kathamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochishta yathapaya. One should not hear pure Hari Katha. Even if somebody is speaking pure Hari Katha, if he is not a devotee, we should not hear from him. It will not give any benefit. On the contrary, it will destroy us. An example is given, just like a milk which is nourishing, but if it is touched by poison, serpent, it will be of no use, and it may kill us. So therefore, best is to study Bhagavad Gita only from bona fide devotees. Hear Bhagavad Gita only from the devotees of the Lord, like that. Then will be benefited. Is Dhruvaloka in this world or material world? The spiritual world. Yeah, Dhruvaloka is in this spiritual world only. That is the Shwet Dweep, where Lord Vishnu is himself residing, like that. Okay, so thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So tomorrow we'll be having a whole overview of Bhagavad Gita in 1 hour, and then from Monday we are starting Nectar of Devotion. So whoever are interested, they can join the that group where we'll be sending the link. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.